to the Hooked on Needles Craftcast. My name is Maricela, or Mari if you prefer, and I don't know what episode this is, but hello! It has been quite a long time since I have popped in to say hello, so I hope you are all doing well. I think I was pretty much gone all of 2020, which was not my intention, but that's life. So, yeah, today is January 16th, 2021, and I hope you all had a good New Year's, and I hope we have a better 2021. Well, since I've been gone, I have picked up quite a few hobbies, and enjoying all of them, to be honest. The latest one I will show you is I started stamping some jewelry. So my husband had gotten some stamps at like a yard sale a long time ago. And this says knitter or crocheter. In Spanish, the word tejer can refer to either a sewer, a crocheter or a knitter. And then this one says, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be digressing, but as you can see, I messed up the proud, but I'm a proud maker. So anyways, my husband had gotten some stamp thingies at a yard sale like forever ago, and they were just sitting in our garage. And a while ago I asked him, like, what do you need to use that? And he's like, whatever you want to stamp and like a hammer. And I was like, okay. And then that was it. Like, I left it alone because it's his thing, right? And then I was looking through YouTube and I came across a video of a girl making some jewelry. And then she happened to stamp some of it with what looked very similar to the stuff that my husband had downstairs. And I was like, wait a second. So then I saw it and it didn't look so complicated. It is a little hard, as I showed you in the Proud Maker ring, to get your spacing correctly and also to line them straight. So I do need practice for that. And so, yeah, seeing that she could do it and what it took, I was like, well, I have the stamp thingy. I just need a hammer. So, I went and got, some little, these are just aluminum, just little aluminum, bits. And, I made myself a ring. And there we are. You do have the option of getting some ink markers to put into the ring to make your stamp pop out a little more. So I did that and I am very, very happy with it. I think I need to figure out a different way of making the bracelet, but I'm pretty happy with it. Like, it's just like a C, and yeah, brute strength for that. So yeah, again, I think I could have done a better job with the ring, but it is what it is, so we're good. And then I don't have them to show you, but I also started making the lotion bars, which I don't think I had talked about before. And that happened because my husband had gotten me like everything to make lotion bars. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, husband, I'm gonna want to make lotion bars. And then I loved it. So husband knows best. But anyways, so he got me that. I started making them, really enjoyed it, gave them to like everyone and then their sister. And then that led me into soap making. Now, soap making requires lye, which is not good for people who have trouble breathing, which is me. I have asthma. So I didn't want to make everything from scratch. So I found that there was a base that you could buy where you just have to melt it and then you add whatever it is to the base. So if you wanted to add, your essential oils or other things, then you could do that. So I wanted to try making my own soap and also wanted to try adding some oats to it because one of my friend's daughters, she has eczema or eczema, however you say it. And I wanted to see if maybe that would help her with some of her outbreaks. I don't think it's so bad all the time, but whenever she gets it, it's painful and frustrating, I'm pretty sure. So I wanted to help soothe that for her. So I made some for them, but I haven't seen them, so I still have them. I just don't have them with me right now. And then I also made some with some coffee grinds to help exfoliate, and I used the goat milk base and I am loving it. Husband actually tried it because he saw it in the shower and he was like, "Where'd you buy this?" And I was like, "Why? Do you like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's really good. It's like, I like how it's leaving my skin." And I was like, "Okay, well, I made it." And I was all happy and proud about that. So he's like, "Okay, I think maybe you should make some for me." And I was like, "Okay." So I was very happy that he liked them. I have thought about making shampoo bars, but those are science. So I decided against it because too much science, too many chemicals, too many balancing things that I just don't want to right now. So I'm not gonna say that I will never make them, but as of right now, that is not my intention. And then I also started doing some seed beading. And this happened because my yarny friend, let me see if I can focus it. Come on now. There we go. So one of my yarny friends at one point had ordered something that came with a stitch marker made out of seed beads, which are glass beads, from Hannah of Corner of Craft. And she showed it to me and I loved it. I love the fact that they're very lightweight because it's glass. And so I really like that because I find that there are some stitch markers that are quite heavy and then just, stretch out your knitting or crochet. So I really liked that they were lightweight, and we had been waiting for like a year to try and get some stuff from her. And we had already talked about, whoever can get it, just get enough for both of us and let's do this. So we had been trying and we just had no luck getting one of her updates. So then sometime during 2020, my friend sends me a picture of this little thing, stitch marker made out of seed beads. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you got some from her?" And she's like, "No, I made it." And I was like, "What?" And then again, her husband was like, "Well, why don't you just give it a try?" And she's like, No. He's like, "Yeah, just try it. You could do it." And so she did, and she did it. And husbands are amazing sometimes, So anyway, so then she's like, "You should try it. I think you're gonna like it." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't know." So I didn't want to buy all of the stuff that comes with getting a new hobby at that time. So I was like, you know what? I have some pony beads that my kids had from forever ago. I was like, I'll give it a go with the pony beads. And then if I like it, then I will order some stuff. But if I don't, then, okay, at least I tried it. So I made two things with the pony beads. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. So then I kept going, And I made a whole bunch of stuff and I loved them. And then I was like, what am I going to do with all of these? Because a girl can only, I mean, a girl can never have too many stitch markers, but then you can. So I wasn't sure of what to do with them. And since my friend also makes them, I was like, well, I, I don't know if I should gift some to her. She can make her own. So she was like, well, just open up your Etsy shop. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I guess maybe. And then I did. So in July, I opened up the Etsy shop. It's there, but honestly, like, I haven't really been doing much advertising or anything. And I, I'm just happy that if I do get some sales, I'm able to share them with you guys because I really enjoy making them. So I will show you what I have, but it's up to you if you want to go and get them. But they, like, really, I am loving making these things. So thanks to Hannah and my friend and her husband and my husband, because he's like, do it. Anyway, so I have these little stitch markers, which are little watermelons. I have some onigiri, which I love these, by the way. Some little sheep. And I have them in in the rings, and I also have them as a lobster clasp. So I have 3 different colors of hummingbirds, and I have to say, I think the hummingbirds are my favorite. Well, two things are my favorite. The hummingbirds. I also have it in purple and in blue. And those are all patterns that I actually like bought or found for free. And this one I actually made up myself, which I was super proud of, which is just a little sock. I know it's not much, but I love it. It's so stinking cute. I love making these. So these and the little hummingbirds are my favorite ones to make. Sorry, now I'm trying to put them back where they were. And then I also have some cupcakes and some skeins of yarn. So I have 4 different colors for the skeins of yarn. We've got it in red. Hope you can see that. Okay, that's better. Okay, so in red, orange, like a tealy blue color, and purple. And I also have socks in solid colors because I just really enjoyed making socks. Like, they're so much fun. And I was really proud of myself because, like I said, I made the pattern up myself and I was super, super proud of them. I'm pretty sure had I looked for a pattern, I would have found one, but I was like, I'm going to try by myself, and I did it. So, yay. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find all the colors. Okay, so I also have yellow, and like a lavender, and an orange, and lastly, a pale pink, which I really, really like. So those are all the markers I have. If you are interested, please head over to the Etsy shop. I will leave a link below. And yeah, I'm just really happy and obsessed with that, like doing those. Yeah. So other stuff that I've made that is not really yarny related is I've been trying to reduce my plastic intake, I will say. So I made some wax wraps, And for these, you just need some beeswax and some fabric that you like. And you just melt the beeswax onto the fabric so that the fabric soaks in all the beeswax. And what you do with them is that you can help use them to keep your vegetables and stuff a little bit fresher. So like if you use half a carrot, what's left over you can just wrap in one of those and it'll help keep it fresh instead of like putting it in a little Ziploc bag or something. Because I do have some reusable Ziploc bags, but I do find that the wrap helps better. Like it does a better job keeping it fresh for longer. So I'm really happy with them. And I did that with also the intention that maybe husband would be more willing to use those if they were right there so he could grab them, because he will usually just pop whatever back in the fridge. So like half a cut of bell pepper or carrot or whatever, and he just pops it back in there, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's gonna dry out. So can't be bothered to look for a plastic bag. So then I was like, okay, here, if I have these right here where you can see them and grab them literally on your way back to the fridge, can you use them? And he's like, yeah, okay. So he's been doing it, and I'm very happy because we are not wasting as much food. So yes, I did that. And then I also wanted to make some reusable bags. So I made some little produce bags. They're different sizes, and I only have 2 with me, but I have more of them for whenever we go grocery shopping. And this is again just so that I don't get plastic bags all the time. And we actually go to like a local little stall not too far from us. And my son loves going with us because he knows that he has his little bags. He's going to go and he's going to get whatever he wants, and he just fills up his little bag with, he loves apples. So he gets like all types of apples and he just puts them in the bag. I do tell him we need to separate them because they're not always the same price, but he loves doing that. So that is something, excuse me, that is something that I find really, what's the word? Like that I really like, because like he already knows it, you know. He's not like, why are we getting these? Like he's just like, okay, I need my bag, thanks, and then he goes and fills it up. So that makes me happy. And I really like going to that stall because it is locally grown and stuff just tastes better. So we also get like our tomatoes from there, and whatever fruits in season or vegetables are in season. And we've been trying to do more local things lately. So there's 2 different local places that we like to go to, and I'm just really happy that I found them. There's one store that's in the next town over that does like a basket. So you get, depending on the season, you get like vegetables that are in season. You get a meat, or like what's it called? Protein. You get a protein, and it's like set for $25 or whatever. And they give it to you in this beautiful little basket. And it's just, we got it one time, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I just loved it because like, something that I did in 2020 was that I tried growing stuff. So, my Yarny friend is also very, she's just amazing, first of all. But also she has tried, like she's been doing her own gardening for like a while to grow their food and stuff. And she's done such a great job that she was like, well, if you want to try, you know, here's a book. She lent me the book. I never read the book. I'm sorry. But I like skimmed through it a little bit, and I was like, oh, well, I don't know. So I wasn't feeling so sure. As you can tell, I'm always never sure. I'm never sure. I'm always never sure. Both. I am both. I'm never sure and I'm always never sure. Anyways, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try just having a couple of little pots on our back porch, and I'm just going to give it a go. I don't want anything too demanding or whatever, and we'll just see. So my son actually has also been asking that we have a garden. He is ready to make compost. He's like, we need worms. They're going to do a great job and give us this beautiful soil, mom, for all of our plants to grow. And I'm like, okay, kid. So he was really excited when I told him that we were going to try and have a little garden. It was not very big, honestly. All we planted were strawberries, serrano peppers, tomatoes, basil, parsley, and spearmint, which is not a lot, I don't think. But I didn't know that tomatoes were not very, that they could give you trouble. And so then our neighbor was like, oh yeah, mine didn't give. Bugs got in it and just killed them. And I was like, oh man. And I have, for the past couple of years, I have saved, like when we go to the grocery store and we get some like chives or green onion, I save those. And those are really easy to grow. You just have to keep the base of them, like where the little, what's it called? The root of them, covered in water, and just change it out like every other day, and they will grow. Like they're really easy to grow. So I've always done that. And then this Yarny friend of mine, one time we went to her mom's house for whatever reason, and she was showing us her garden, and she's like, oh yeah, plants like to grow in groups or something, like. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, so if you plant something sweet, you should plant something like smelly, like onion or garlic, like if you're planting strawberries, or something spicy, like peppers, and they will help protect your strawberries, which is why I got strawberries and serranos. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't want to grow garlic or onion, but I have green onion. So around the tomatoes, I planted the green onion, and I think that helped it. So I think, and this was a really long time ago when her mom told me this. So I am glad that I kept it in my noggin, and I'm glad that I decided to do it. And our stuff grew, and it was so amazing. Like we made salsa, it was delicious, and man, our chiles were spicy this year. And our tomatoes, oh my gosh. Okay, so there's this like Mexican soup that I make for my daughter. My daughter loves this soup. And the fact that we were able to grow our own tomatoes, and I got to make her this soup with like fresh grown tomatoes from us, like we did this. It just was amazing. The soup tasted great because it was like our tomatoes. I got to give some to my sisters, and I was just so happy because our tomatoes did so good. And I do think that my son had a lot to do with it because he was so happy. He would go out there and he would sing them lullabies. There's a couple Spanish lullabies that I sing to him, and he would go out and sing to the little plants. And it just made me so happy that we did it. And so then that kind of got me like, okay, maybe I can do this. So we might give that a try again this year. But my husband was like, well, now that you know you can do it, maybe we should get like a raised bed or something. And I was like, oh my God, no, that's too much pressure. But also like the feeling of happiness that I got, fulfillment that I got from growing our own stuff, it's totally worth it. So most likely we will do that this year, but we will see. And we definitely have to plant strawberries again because strawberries are just awesome. We love strawberries, and my son would go and pick them, and then he's like, there was only 2, so we each get 1 bite. I'm like, okay. And sometimes, we would sacrifice, and we're like, you can have them both, it's okay. But he was just so happy. And our basil, with the cold and stuff, once it hit in, our basil and our parsley did really good, but Rogue, our puppy, our girl, she really liked the root of the parsley, so she actually dug one out. And that was also kind of a struggle, was trying to get them and train them that yes, it smells good, but you do not eat it. And Kobe would climb up to try and get the strawberries, like not climb up, but jump up to try and get the strawberries. So we were always like, Kobe, get down. And his full name is Kobika. But anyways, which means blanket, which is kind of funny. My son was telling his friends, he was like, "Oh yeah, my dog's name is Kobika, which means blanket, but it's fine." And they were like, "Blanket? What?" It's just whatever. We named it Kobika. Anyways, and so yeah, so that was kind of a struggle. But also, like I said, very fulfilling once everything was grown and we were able to enjoy all of our stuff. So I was very happy. So back to what else I made. I also wanted to make something, a reusable grocery bag, because I have bought some from like Kroger and Publix and stuff, but they do sometimes break, you can overstuff them. So I wanted something sturdier, so I got some canvas and I made these huge bags. And I wanted them huge because I want them to be able to hold like cereal boxes and all of that. And so then what I do is I usually just pop everything into this big bag that I'm gonna need for when I need to go grocery shopping, and then I put it down by our garage door, because that's usually where we leave to go get groceries, and then I just grab it on my way out, and I know I will have everything that I need to go get groceries. So that's what I have been doing, non-Yarny related. And then Yarny related, I was kind of in a slump for a little while, I have to be honest. I was not finding and now I realize that I am a knitter or a maker, sorry, that I need to have like an ending goal. Like and last year I didn't really have, like when I was knitting the socks for everybody and all that stuff, like that was my goal. I had to make socks for everybody. So I kind of got to it and motivated me to keep knitting and stuff. And so last year I didn't really want to make gifts for everybody, because I also feel like it's a lot of pressure. And so I was like, well, what can I do to kind of get my mojo back? Because I just felt like last year I didn't really knit much, and I tried all these other things, which was amazing, and I really do enjoy doing all of them. But I did miss knitting and crocheting. So I was like, okay, I need to like find my mojo again. So this year I decided that, one, I wanted to organize my patterns, because I am doing all of these different crafts, and therefore I end up with a lot of different patterns, and I kind of just had them all in one pattern stack. So I didn't have, I had two categories, which was knitting and crocheting, but then I also kind of stopped doing that because my binders were full. So then it just became patterns. And so I was like, this isn't working. I need to really like buckle down and organize them and specify like sewing patterns and knitting patterns and amigurumi patterns and crochet patterns and beading patterns and all of the patterns. So that's what I've been working on. And then I also going through the patterns, I also realized that I also wanted to use up some of the yarn that I have, and so I need to make these patterns so I can use up the yarn. So I decided to I came up with 6 goals, and it's not many, it's not that many goals. And if I get some more throughout the year, I will add to them. But as of right now, I have my 6 goals. I will show them to you guys, and I will explain them as they come. So the first one that I will show you, because it is they are some of my finished objects, is I have an amigurumi goal. So I have a lot of amigurumi patterns. I have books of amigurumi, and I love making amigurumi. They just bring joy to my life. So I made it this way because I want to tally as I make each amigurumi. My goal is to make at least 52, which would be one per week, by the end of the year. And hopefully I do it. That's a lot of amigurumis, but still, like, I want to do this because I have the patterns. So that is my goal. And so let's start off with these. Now, I'm only going to count them per pattern. So if I make 5 amigurumis, but they're all the same pattern, then they only get one tally because it's the same pattern. So 52 patterns in 1 year. That's what I'm trying to do. The first pattern is that I did, sorry, I'm trying to get it, is this little duck, and I made 3 of them. And this pattern is by Carlita of Vivir Vintage. Her patterns do come in English and in Spanish. And I really like it because she is making these patterns with the goal of encouraging people who are makers and maybe in other countries that, you know, they can't always go out to work because they have their kids or whatever, but they can sit and crochet. So she has them in mind and makes the patterns so that they're not super complicated. And if they want to sell the finished product, then they're able to do that without taking too much time, which I really, really like. So this is it. I made this one first, and in her pattern she says it should take about 2 hours. This one took me about 2 hours and 10 minutes. It was the first one I did, so I think that's why it also took a little longer. And I'm sorry, 3 weight yarn, which I think is DK, and a 2mm hook. And then for these, I used a worsted weight or number 4 yarn with a 3.5mm hook. And these actually took less than than 2 hours, because I think since I had already made it, then it kind of like made it quicker the next times around. So I made 3 of them. It's Mama, Papa, and Baby. And I think they're stinking cute. And the same pattern, just different yarn and hook. And then I also, from her, I bought 3 patterns. I bought Rufina, which is the duck. I bought Matilda, which is a hippo. And I actually made it, but I already gave it away. I gave it to one of my sisters. And for her, I also used the DK weight yarn or size 3 yarn with the 2mm hook. And she was like teensy, but so stinking cute. So I made her, and I love her. And then I also bought a different pattern. I don't have it with me. A little cow, which I'm gonna make, or like I'm kind of making, but I didn't bring it, and I don't want to go get it because there's not much to show right now. So I will show it to you next episode. So I made her, and again, she does have a channel where she does the patterns in Spanish. I think they're subtitled, and you don't have to pay for the videos, but I wanted to support her, and so I went to her Etsy shop and I bought the patterns. So even though they're free on YouTube, you can go and buy the pattern if you want. So I will leave all of the links down below if you want to go and find any of these patterns. Okay, and then from that I went on to make this pattern. And this is a monkey by Emeryn's Love, sorry. And this was also a paid for pattern on Etsy. And for her, because it's a little girl, I made I'm sorry, I used the DK weight yarn with a 2mm hook, and I love it. It's teensy. Look at how like she's so stinking adorable. I love her. And her name is Dulce, because my sister, one of my sisters, named her because she's like, she's so sweet. We should name her Dulce. So the word dulce means sweet or candy in Spanish. Dulce. But she's very, very cute. So this is Dulce, and she is a little monkey. And then lastly, this designer is Nam Som Pan, and she was having a sale for New Year's. I don't know if it was like end of the year or beginning of the year, but because of the new year, she was having a sale, and so I decided to buy a bundle from her. And her bundle came with these 4 patterns, and for all of these I used worsted weight yarn, which is size 4, with a 3.5mm hook. And I made this little bear, which is so adorable. And her patterns come giving you the details of where to put stuff, so I thought that was really, really nice. I made this little tiger, and I put in some pipe cleaner so that it's like nice and bendy if the little tiger wants to maybe bounce on it. So I thought that was really cute. And something that if I were to make these again, I would wait to put the belly part until the end, because it's kind of a little askew and off, because I put it on first and then sewed everything together. So I think if you guys do decide to make them, put the body together first and then just leave this for the very end. So that way you can kind of like center it a little bit better than I did. And then this one was really fun to make. This is a little pig, and I really liked the color choices. He's very muted but so stinking cute. And then lastly, the little donkey, and again, like his belly is completely off center, but that's okay. And here he is. And I was actually thinking of using this pink for the ears, and like whatever is this like pale pink here, I wanted to use the bright pink, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I used these colors. I do apologize for the lighting. Now it looks like Blair Witch Project, but I'm right next to the window, and yeah, so let me see if I can. Okay, let's see if that works a little better. So yeah, and so I was very, very happy with all of those. So as you can see, I have made a total of 6 different patterns already, and we're only in the second week of January. But these, I actually really, really, really enjoyed making them. Like, I loved making these. I made all of them in 1 week because I just really enjoyed it. So I was very happy with those. And yeah, so that's all of my oh no, I'm sorry. I also have this one to show you, which these are the Pioneer socks. I don't remember the designer, but I have had these in my queue or in my like to do for like 5 years, you guys, and I hadn't made them, and I made them in 2 days. And then my husband was like, because I had mentioned like, man, these have been on my list forever. And he's like, how long is forever? And I was like, 5 years. And he's like, are you kidding me? And you made them in 2 days? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, next time don't procrastinate. If you want to make it, just make it. Don't wait 5 years to make them. And I was like, okay. So yeah, and I did have the pair. I actually use them when we go take the puppies out for walks, but I don't know what I did with the other one. I found this one, but the other one's MIA. And for that, I used the new Hobby Lobby's yarn. They're having some hand-dyed yarn now. It's only $15 if you want to give it a go. if if sometimes you don't have the means to go and get some fantastic hand dyed yarn that's more pricey, and now they've made it accessible for you to get this. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm happy because I mean, it's really nice yarn. I also wanted to try it and see because it's 100% superwash merino, hand dyed and everything. So I was like, So I was a little skeptical, but I have to say I really, really enjoyed working with it. It's super soft. It's so nice. And yeah, so I do recommend it. But again, like, I have mixed feelings about it. So if if there are times where the budget is kind of tight, it's definitely a good alternative to the pricier hand dyed. Okay, and then in works in progress, I will show you another one of my goals, which is the niece's leg warmers. So a couple years ago, I had made some leg warmers for one of my nieces, and she loved them, but they are very colorful. So she was telling me that she can't always wear them because they clash with her outfit, and she's very like fashionable or whatever. Or she she likes dressing up and stuff. I do not. But she asked if she could get some black and white ones, and I said of course. So I started these. These are just 60 stitches, a 1x1 rib. I started them off with a 3.5 millimeter, made about 20 rows, switched to 4 millimeters, and now that's what I'm gonna keep going. So the wider part should go towards her knee. And so this is the first one. I just started them not too long ago. She asked for them longer than when I started them, but like I said, I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't want to I don't want to force myself to do stuff right now. Like that's not what I'm doing right now. So I started those. I am using Wool Like from Michaels. And the reason why I went with acrylic is because I don't want them to shrink. She's like, please, I don't want your hard work to like go to waste. So I decided on acrylic. It's a very soft acrylic and very, very nice. I do enjoy working with this yarn. So that's what I'm doing. I will then start on the white ones later on, but so far that's how far I am. I do have a bit more to go, so that's okay. And then that's that. And then I had started some socks, but I ended up not continuing them because I just wasn't feeling it. And I don't know why. I tried picking them up and forcing myself to do them, but it just wasn't working. And I don't think it was the pattern. I don't think it was the yarn. I think it was me. I think I just was not okay with doing that type of pattern at the time. It was not difficult, I have to say. It was not a hard pattern, but I just for whatever reason wasn't feeling it, so I stopped making them. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make socks. I'm just gonna whatever it. Like, I don't need it's fine. I don't need socks. And besides, like with socks, I have issues because mine tend to wear really quick. And so that was also kind of discouraging me from wanting to make socks. And so when I went to Hobby Lobby and I was looking at this hand-dyed yarn, there was another lady there, and we started chatting, and she was telling me that she was a crocheter turned knitter, or she will add knitting to her repertoire, and she was making some socks, and so she wanted to try it. And I was like, oh, that's so amazing. It's a great thing. You end up becoming addicted and always want to make socks and all of this stuff. And so then And then I was telling her, I was like, I have trouble with socks because even though I love making them, they wear so quick and, la da da. And then she's like, oh, there's this lady on YouTube that has a video of how she reinforces the entire heel. So not just the heel flap, but then you continue as you do the turn and then you do the decreasing. Like, it's all, you just keep reinforcing it. And I was like, what? She's like, so maybe you want to give that a go and see if you like it. And I was like, okay. So I then cast on a different pair of socks. And then a viewer had suggested that I also go down a needle size or up. I don't know. I had been doing, what do you call it? I had tried like 2.5 millimeter needles. I tried 2 millimeter needles, but I hadn't really made any with 2.5. And so the viewer suggested that I try 2.5 and see if that also helped. So right now with these socks that I'm making, I am going to, I did the needle change, and then I'm also going to try doing the reinforcement throughout the heel turn, or well, throughout the whole heel, and see if that also helps. So that I'm hoping that this is the magic pattern, and then this is what I can then keep on making for my socks so that I'm not going to wear through them so quickly. So I'm really excited. And so while I was going through my patterns and organizing them, I found this Humbug pattern by Ambrose Smith. It is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, but I love it. I love this yarn. I'm just using some Peyton's Croy, but I really like the sturdiness of this yarn. It is such like a workhorse yarn. It is amazing. So I love it. And so I started off with 2.5 millimeter needles for the ribbing, and I did start the second one. So I have this right now, and I'm doing them in 9-inch circulars, but when it comes to the heel, I like doing the heel with the double pointed needles because it just seems to go by faster. So I'm doing that, and I am just really excited because, like I said, I'm going to try and do the reinforcement throughout the heel. I will put a link to the video of the person that was suggested to me, if you guys want to give that a try. And lastly, my other goal, one of my other goals, is sweater number 2. And so I have made the campsite sweater for myself last year, and I really enjoyed it, and I really like wearing it. But I had a lot of yarn left over, and like I was saying, when I was going through the patterns and looking through the yarn, I was like, okay, I have all of this yarn that was left from that sweater. So I wanted to make myself another sweater. And so even though it says sweater number 2, and technically this is my sweater number 2, I want to make 2 sweaters this year. So right now I'm going to show you my sweater that I already started, which is the Pavement by Vera Valimaki. It is a very simple yet beautiful sweater, and I'm using my leftover yarn from my campsite. When I made the campsite, I used the same yarn but held double, and so now I'm just using it with the one strand, so it'll be a much lighter sweater. And that's what I wanted because it's also really warm, and I think that that's something that sometimes people don't think about, that because it's wool and it's so thin that it's not going to be warm, but it is warm. So anyway, so I am almost at the part where I need to start the down. There's some shaping at the bottom, so I'm almost at that part. And yeah, I should have enough yarn for the rest of this sweater. And I am thinking that I'm going to do 3/4 sleeves because although I like the full length sleeves, I always end up like rolling them up and having like just go to the elbow. So I think I'm gonna do that, and that way I also save myself some knitting time. And I'm hoping that that'll get me more likely to finish it. So I haven't picked it up very often, but when I work on it, like I only work on that for that day. So I feel like I've had it on the needles for about 2 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks now, but it's been going pretty fast because like I said, I'm only gonna work, like today I picked it up, so I'm gonna work on it just today. And so yeah, and like I said, this is technically my sweater, my second sweater, but I do want to make another one this year. So the number 2 sweater is for this year. And I don't know yet what pattern or anything like that, but I'm excited, and I think I do want it to be a fingering weight sweater because I like them to be a little bit lighter, and like I said, they are quite warm. So that is that, and then that's it. So let me just share the other goals. The other goals are vest for sister. So one of my sisters wears the vests that my grandma made like over 25 years ago, and those have been very well loved and have endured all this time. But I think it would be nice for me to make her a new one, and we all wear them. We all wear the vest that like my grandma left. They were not made for us, but we take advantage and wear them. So my sister is top heavy, and so I wanted to make give it a little bit more structure, so I'm gonna make it in 2 pieces, and I'm also going to do a ribbing pattern because since she is top heavy, I would like for it to hug in the places where it needs to hug, and you know, have a little more give where it needs to. So I already have the yarn for that. I just need to get started. So I'm thinking that once I'm done with my sweater, I will then start her vest. And that is my other goal. And then the another goal is Galijara hat. So I bought some yarn from Galijara, which is a she is a Spanish podcaster. They are she does it with her mom. They are in, I think, Bakersfield, California. And she started dyeing yarn, and she did such a beautiful job. I don't think I brought it. I don't know if I've shown it to you guys or not. But anyways, I ordered some of her yarn and I love it. And I think I want to make it into a hat, but I'm not sure. I put hat because I want to be able to show it off because it's so beautiful. Like the dyeing job she did is amazing, so I want to show that off. So if it doesn't become a hat, most likely it will become a shawl, just because I didn't order more than one, and to make a sweater I would like for it to be all in the same dye lot, so I can't do that. Anyways, and so that is another goal of mine. And then my last goal is gloves for my son. Backwards, sorry, or upside down. Gloves for my son. And this came about because, like I mentioned, we take the puppies for a walk, and on the weekends we usually take them out on the trail. And when my husband took some vacation days for the Christmas time and New Year's time, and so they got used to getting in the car and going for a walk at the trail. But the last time that we were at the trail, it was really cold, and my poor son was like, Mom, my fingers are gonna fall off. Can you please make me some gloves? And I was like, Are you sure you want gloves? You have mittens. And he's like, Yeah, but I need fingers. I want to be able to hold on to my bike handle, like, and spread my hands if I need to, my fingers. And I was like, Okay. And I was dreading it because it's gloves, and that means 10 fingers. And that's a labor of love that I do love him, but I really had to think about, do I love him 10 fingers, 10 knitted fingers worth, which I do. So I will be making those for him. And then I also told him, like, if you can find the yarn that you like, then I will make them. And so it took longer for me to tell him, go find the yarn. Then he comes back and he's like, this yarn. And I was like, why this yarn? And he's like, because it's zoomy. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, I'm going to be able to zoom with these on my bike. So I want this color. So this is the one he chose. This is a Cloudborn Fibers hank. It is merino superwash, and it's lovely. So zoomy gloves for son is what came out of there. So that is all that I have to show and share with you guys. Oh, and I did want to mention, I have had goals before, but I have never really like put them up on my wall or anything to like visually see them. And so that's something that I want to try this year, just to see if maybe that helps me actually complete them, which is why I wrote them in these little papers. And so then I'm just gonna like tape them to my wall to kind of help motivate me to fulfill them. But I'm also not, like I said, going to pressure myself or force myself to make them. Because, like I said, even though knitting is something that I feel like I do need to have a goal for, I also know that forcing myself to do it just takes the joy away, and then it makes me not want to knit after that, So even though I enjoy and like the finished product, the getting it is not always the best experience. So that is that. That is all I have to share, like I said. So if you want to stay for a little chat, I will chat with you for a little bit. If not, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time, and have a good 2021. So for those of you who have stayed, hello. A little chat about what's been going on with us is the puppies have been moved to adult food, which I am ridiculous and pathetic, and I cried. I was so sad because my puppies are not puppies, they are adult dogs now. And I didn't even realize that I needed to switch them over. Like, I was just thinking, they are my puppies, they will always be having this food, but they're not, they're adults. So I'm glad that I finally realized, and I don't know why it took me so long. It wasn't that long, but still, like, I cried when they got their new puppy food, or dog food, not puppy food. And yes, I am just that pathetic. But they're doing really good. They are really good puppies. They are definitely rambunctious at times, but they are so sweet. Rogue is just the sweetest thing ever. She loves the humans, all the humans. As long as she's getting love, she doesn't care what human it is. She is my napping buddy. From time to time, I will take a nap, and she comes and she lays with me and keeps me nice and toasty. And she's just lovely. And Kobe is this massive thing that thinks is a little chihuahua and wants you to carry him and stuff. And he's massive. So I don't carry him. He will break my back. Like, he is so big. And I don't ever realize how big he is until, like, we go out and I see him with other dogs. He is one big fella, I'll tell you. But oh my gosh, he is such a scaredy little wimp. He is afraid of the dark. He's afraid of the mailbox. He's afraid of the trash can. He's just afraid of everything. When I do take him on walks, I can't. I can. It's just harder. So I have been taking them on walks when we don't go to the trail. I usually take them out on walks separately, and that is a pain with him because he is whining the whole time because his sister's not with us. We are alone and we are leaving. We are going away from where all the rest of our pack is. Why are we going away? So he is crying like half of the time, and then he kind of has a panic attack when we get to like the very entrance of the subdivision, because he's like, we're leaving the subdivision. So I usually have to, like, come on, Kobe, it's okay, keep going. But geez, he is some trouble. Although I have come to realize that he enjoys the Harry Potter soundtrack. If I play that while we're on our walk, he actually relaxes and has a much better walk. So that is what I have been doing and working. So there we go. And yeah, and Rogue loves the walk. She is such a trooper. She will not let you down. She will be with you the entire time, even though sometimes she exhausts herself. And there was a time where we took them on a walk and she just did not want to leave us. So she kept going, and the poor thing threw up all over the car. And it was because of that, because like she just overexerted herself, and poor thing. So now we know that. And so she does have more stamina than him. So my walks with him tend to be between 15 and 20 minutes. And her walks are between 45 to an hour. So just because she really does, like, she can go. So we do. Me and her, we go. And it's just really nice. I was telling a friend that I sometimes feel a little selfish because I really enjoy the alone walks with them. And sometimes, like, husband really wants us to go as a pack as well, like Kobe. But I really do enjoy the walks by myself. It's just a really nice time to like clear my head and just have time for myself and think about or not think about anything, like it's just me and the puppy. And so yeah, so I have also had to have like a little one-on-one time with husband, because we all need the one-on-one. And so it's just really nice. We have one-on-one with the daughter. She is all about anime and scary stories, which is a little disturbing and a little like, okay. So usually she'll tell me about her the stuff that she's into and whatever, and so we just have little chat, and it's just nice. And then with the son, he likes to play. We do cuddle quite a bit, me and him, which we get made fun for because I don't know, it's just our bond, to each their own. my husband and my daughter have a bond, and it's just different than my son and mine, and we don't make fun of them for it. Like, they just bond differently. So anyways, and then husband is working, like I mentioned. He took some time off. um we did a little bit of stuff around the house, putting up some shelves and stuff. Like I mentioned, I'm trying to kind of better organize my space, because I do get so overwhelmed, especially being a crafter and having more than 3 hobbies now. It's like it gets crazy. I always say that there's like my yarn vomit or beading vomit or whatever vomit everywhere, because it's just a lot. So I'm trying to figure out, one, how to store it better and keep it organized, and I'm looking for a like a method that will work better for me. So I'm just giving things a try, seeing if I can stick to them or not, and making note of what I am keeping up with and what I'm not able to keep up with. So, like I mentioned, I'm hoping that having these goals actually up on my wall and stuff will help me. So if it does, that'll be something that I will continue. Um, and yeah, what else? Kids are back at school. We are doing digital for both kids. We did digital for the young one the whole year, and the biggest one was going to school, but then that wasn't really working. She got a little bit of anxiety. And I'm thinking that it's just the like seeing everybody with a mask at school, or not seeing people with a mask at school. Um, so yeah, like in our area, not everybody wears a mask. And if you're wearing a mask, sometimes you get like a little side eye, like, why are you wearing a mask? And I'm wearing a mask for myself, thank you. So that happens in our area. And yeah, so we decided to do virtual for her this semester, and I'm hoping that she will do well. And she will uh just be in a better place for like herself, because she was, like I mentioned, having a little bit of trouble. And I think it's just like all kids are having trouble right now. If you're not really too used to being homeschooled and everything, and the parents are having a tough time, and my neighbor is like, no, it's just being bad. They feel like their son is not really getting the proper guidance and everything. So it's tough all the way around. So again, we can all just do our best and hope for the best, and that's it, because it's a lot to think about, sending them back and everything. So yeah, I am okay with doing virtual for as long as we need to. And yes, so that is that. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so very much. I do appreciate you guys. I do apologize for taking forever and a week to get back. But I am hoping to podcast a little bit more often, even though it may not be as long of an episode. I think that's fine as well. But I just want to, like I said, try and do stuff differently to see if it works. So we will see. Please take care. And hasta la próxima.